It was the only school that was targeted. There was another location that was mentioned, but because of a threat assessment by the suspect, too much security, they decided not to. And that area was here in Nashville, so we're continuing with that investigation as well.
So let's talk about this Nashville shooter situation. So I set up security plans, do risk assessments, emergency management plans for high net worth families, schools, churches. I'm really passionate about the schools and churches. The situation is, and we learned this from working with law enforcement, local law enforcement, SEB, SWAT teams, and just looking at the case studies as we train. In so many cases, the active shooters choose facilities based on their security posture. In so many of the cases you see when we get a hold of their cell phones afterwards, or when you look at their journals, why they chose the targets they chose. And it's almost always because, and if you haven't noticed, a lot of these things happen in places where people aren't allowed to be armed. They choose the places they choose in many different cases because of the security posture. These places are identified as what we call in the tactical community as soft targets. When they are conducting what we call in the tactical community their hostile planning cycle, which is when they're assessing targets, looking for vulnerabilities, and really the target selection process. They're looking to see how successful do I think I can be at this chosen target or that chosen target. What's access control look like? Are there men and women with guns that can bring on-scene accountability? How far will I get in my attack? These are considerations, and it's no different than what bank robbers do or terrorists are doing or what any aggressor would do before choosing a facility to victimize. But what we see with active shooters is that having exposed armed security is a major deterrent to actually having your campus be attacked by one of these active shooters or active human threats, whether it's a shooter, a driver, a stabber, whatever it is. With that having been said, focusing on deterrence. Good security mitigates risk. It dampens the risk. It helps you avoid the risk. It makes it so you never even know anything was about to happen. And that's what we're here to do. That's what I'm here to do as a security company owner. But that's what you need to do as parents, is you need to go to these schools. Would you send your children to a school that didn't have an emergency management plan for an earthquake or a fire or any other relevant security-centric concern, any other relevant emergency? Now we have a relevant emergency of active human threats, whether it's a shooter, a driver, a stabber, whatever it is, showing up on our school campuses, on our church campuses, and at public venues at large. So now you need to ask yourself, if I'm not going to be able to be there with my child, what has this organization, what has this school, what has this corporation done to have an emergency management plan, a professional emergency management plan for this type of emergency that has become more and more relevant in American culture today? If you care about your kids, look at putting in place the same security postures and security principles that are used all around the world to protect every important facility, person, place, and thing that we care about, which is an armed, exposed posture. Now, we offer covert and an overt level so that if there's politics around it, you can be covert. But no matter what, find a company, find law enforcement, find security assets, and get those on your school campuses, because there is not a single person who has been victimized in any of these situations that thought it would happen to them, and that thought it would happen to their kids, and it thought it would happen to their school. And that's the number one pitfall of our civilian population. As much as I love them, they like to believe that it won't happen to them. And we've also learned that bad people will do bad things that are illegal. So making it a gun-free zone is not going to stop someone who's willing to commit murder from coming into an environment and doing evil things, right? So if you're a realistic thinker, you have to understand that good people must be able to arm themselves to the degree that the bad people can arm themselves in order to defend themselves? And do you want your children waiting around, hiding in a classroom, playing dead until the cops arrive? Or do you want there to be trained professionals on that campus, ready to react, ready to compartmentalize that threat or extinguish it and create a safe environment for the children and staff at the school that you choose to send them to? If you'd like to continue the conversation about securing campuses, schools, churches, corporate structures, high net worth families, etc., please feel free to reach out to me at our website, bravoresearchgroup.com. That's bravoresearchgroup.com. We look forward to finding a way to serve you and yours. Thank you. God bless, and Semper Fi.